We, of course, are keeping a very close eye on Tropical Storm Erin and its possible impact on North Carolina next week. But with no final budget in place, how financially prepared is the state for another major storm?
Capitol reporter Dina Harley joining us now live. Dina, you've been looking into the state's rainy day fund.
Yeah, that fund can be used for storm cleanup, storm preparedness. It has been used historically, very much so here in North Carolina. But the state of things right now are a bit different because the fund hasn't been replenished with no final budget in place, and it did take a major hit after Hurricane Helene.
It is always a risk to let that drop because, as we saw with Helene last year, the amount of damage far out exceeded the rainy day fund.
With no final state budget in place, North Carolina's rainy day fund hasn't been replenished and has dipped below its typical $4.75 billion amount.
To put it in perspective, it's down about 30% from its peak. It was at almost $5 billion at one point.
Right now, the fund is sitting at around $3.6 billion. That money could be needed if Tropical Storm Erin impacts North Carolina next week, something meteorologists are watching closely. The fund may be more important this year than ever because of the uncertainty around any help from the federal government for storm response or cleanup.
The balance between federal and state aid for the last 30 years, 40 years has typically been a majority from the federal government supplemented by state and local monies. But now that's in question.
David McLennan with Meredith College says for years the federal government took on about 90% of the financial responsibility for storm cleanup. That didn't happen after Hurricane Helene.
That puts a lot of pressure on the state to respond to everything from temporary housing, road reconstruction, all the way up to how do we deal with businesses.
But it's not all doom and gloom. Even without a budget, lawmakers can pass bills individually to fund storm responses if need be.
I don't think North Carolinians should be concerned that no money would come from the state government. But, you know, the annual budget process does replenish the rainy day fund.
Storms have impacts that are a bit more localized, like we saw a few weeks ago here in the Triangle with Chantal. Those responsibilities typically do fall into the hands of local governments, which means they're responsible for cleanup and paying for that cleanup and that preparedness. But of course, if they do need help with that, they can ask the state. Live in Raleigh, Dina Harley, CBS 17 News.
All right, Dina, thank you so much.